Oh, good. And I know I have to mess with my Chrome.
Good afternoon. It's David Asleen and Chris Coley from Drive. Welcome, everybody. And today we're going to talk about masters and what does it take to be a master of shop management and what exactly does that mean? So, Chris, let's start off first talking about there's a couple big things that I want to talk about before we get into the thing. Just a little over a month ago, we awarded 12 masters and 3 master elites of shop management.
Yep.
And so I want to run through some of our recent masters that Drive awarded out here because this is a very special honor to get these type of awards over here. And it takes a lot of work to get your shop into a condition to be a master. So we announced these at our last expo, but I'm going to go back over for everybody that missed the expo so that they know who they are. So Allen's Automotive, Entwistle's Garage, Bunton Auto Body, Townline Body Shop, V8 Speed and Restoration, Bryant Automotive, Columbia Falls Auto Clinic, Stellar's Garage, LT Automotive, Essential Auto Service, A&M Automotive, and Bill Cressmore's. Those are our newest and recent masters of shop management. And then we had 3 Master Elite, which is even a bigger accomplishment. And that would be Galveston Automotive Professionals, KO Auto Clinic, and Kohl's Service Center. So these are all great accomplishments these shop owners did. And now let's just talk about what it takes to really become a master, Chris, because it isn't just like, here's an award. It's a process. It's a process to show that your shop is producing and is a leader in the industry.
Yeah, and it's actually before we even get to that, and we're going to go over some of the criteria that we use to qualify a shop as a master and a master elite. But I also want to talk about what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that your shop is perfect and that you'll never have any problems and that everything is always going to run great. What it does mean is that you have the tools that you need as a shop owner to resolve issues that come up smoothly and effectively. Because what these awards represent is they represent management skill on the part of the shop owner. And that's a really important distinction. So
well, and it's not just that, it's the management skill. And like you said, shops are always going to have problems. Look, if you have customers and you have employees, you're going to run across problems in your business.
Yep.
But the thing about it is how fast do you get on top of those problems? And do you have plans created in your lineup that, hey, if this problem exists, this is how we address it so it's not a problem? And the best thing I've always said is, it's not that your shop won't always have problems, but it's also being at the level of management skills that you can detect a problem before it happens and make it where it was just a situation and it's not some big fire you had to put out in your business.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And so let's talk about some of the criteria. What do we look for in a master of shop management? And one of the first things is that the shop owner is constantly working to improve their management skills. And what that means is, they're taking advantage of the workshops that we offer, the action coaching workshops, their coach, and they're getting better and better as managers. And that's seen in what training they're doing and also the results from that training. In other words, are they using it and are they putting it into action in their shops? And that usually is shown by KPIs.
Well, and some of those let's talk about some of the management skills of it, just what we talk about. You say training, that you have to get trained up. Sometimes you have to train your staff on it, but we're not talking about just any ordinary training and implementation in your shop. We're talking, is your workflow process in place? That means, is your employees following the workflow, or do they got it down? Or is it still chaos within in the back of the shop from front to back? Is there still a lot of verbal communication? We've seen this a lot, Chris.
Oh,
Verbal
yes.
communication is one of the things that hurt shops the most. But do you
Right.
got that dialed in? Do you got a system in place that helps everybody work through that? The other pieces of it is not just workflow. Do you got control over your finance? You know where the money's going?
Mhm.
Are you paying your bills? And then another piece of it is, are you being a leader in your community?
Yep.
We overlook that. How well is your business running? But how is your business viewed in your community? Are you one of those things that everybody wants to come to? Is a good reputation? Is your marketing working? There's so much to being what we say a good manager and getting control over everything. And there's a lot of things to control in a shop.
Right. And one of the things that is probably one of the most important management skills that we look for in a master and a master elite is, are they managing the shop by their numbers? Because KPIs don't lie. Let's put it that way. The numbers will tell you where your shop is running well. They'll tell you where your shop is not running well. And by utilizing those KPIs and zeroing in on the things that need to be addressed and addressing them quickly, you will have a shop that is growing, that is financially stable, that is headed in the direction that you want it to go, and you're achieving your goals. That's what managing by the KPIs is, and that's what it does. And that includes, finding the root cause for any problems that show up in your KPIs, so that you actually do address the real issues in your shop. So that's another key part of the master and master elite qualifications.
Yeah, and Chris, there's another big thing on it. What we're looking for masters and master elite, and that's really your skills as a business owner of getting others to get things done.
Yep.
And it's because look, a true master isn't working on cars in the back. They're not rating service on the front. They're managing people and getting people to get those things done. And look, I hear it every day. So many shop owners, I want to be operational. I don't want to be tied to the business. I want to be able to come and go as I please. I want the business to run. I want it to be successful. I want it to be a leader in our community. These are all the pieces that we put together to say this is what a master of shop management is. And
Mhm.
it's not just, hey, I got an award and I'm recognized by my peers and other shop owners across the nation. Hey, look, this is great. You should be recognized when you hit this level. You achieve something big. But at the same time, what you need to do is look back and see what you achieved and what it means to you, because it can mean a different thing for every master. I know, I hate to say it, Chris, it's been over 10 years ago when I got masters of shop management myself with our shop. But the achievement, we went after this achievement. We set this goal. We want to be a master of shop management. When we had to sit down and put all of the information together and prove, hey, you're masters over here, and what have we accomplished? That was the eye-opening part for my wife and I.
Mhm.
And why I say that is because we're going back and we're looking at over 3, 4, 5 years of KPIs. We're showing, look how much we've grown. And when we actually started putting those graphs and overlaying them and everything by year, the numbers just kept going up, 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 up for each year. And when we're sitting there thinking about it and we're submitting this in and doing all this research, it was one of those minutes just like, wait a minute, we just spent several office hours sitting in the office over here at the shop putting this information together, that why we're masters. Do you notice we haven't got one phone call? We haven't had one employee interrupt us. Matter of fact, they don't even know we're here if they didn't see us physically.
Right.
And that set in, and it was, I'll tell you what, it was one of those mind blowing things. It's like, wow, because just a few years ago, we were running around. We were working on vehicles. We were working late hours. We were struggling to make sure everything got done each day. And that's the win I took out of it. And I hope every master that's got masters takes that win out of it. It's just having a shop that runs well.
Yeah, and that is one of the, in the final analysis, that's the criteria. Is the shop running well? Has that owner gotten to a point where they're not running around, as we like to say at Mach 2, with their hair on fire, or their job isn't putting out fires 8 hours a day or more. Their job is actually managing a team that works together, that knows what they're supposed to be doing, and the shop runs well. That, in the final analysis, is what it's about. And, to your point about the progress, and, I've worked with a number of shops and gotten them to masters, and that realization hits at some point when you're putting together this information for your master submission, because you just go, wow, when I started out, I had no money. I was working 10 hours a day. We had revenue coming in, but I wasn't able to take home any money. And now look at me, I'm working less hours. I've got money in the bank. The shop has reserves, et cetera, et cetera. And these are the kinds of things that, when you step back and you start to put this information together, you see, because you're looking at it through this wide angle rear view mirror kind of a thing.
Yeah, and it's a big thing on it when you're actually sitting there looking at it. Take that win. I'm going to tell everybody, take it a win. It's a great achievement. You've done a great thing, but it's not over.
No,
It's not over yet, because you can't take your foot off the accelerator. You've been pushing through on this, and you got to masters now. Like those masters I just read off earlier, if any of you guys are listening, don't take your foot off the accelerator. You should start going after Master Elite. That should be your next thing. And just real quick, we'll talk, what's the difference between Elite and Masters? Well, there's one big thing. It's the amount of profit, amount of time that you're spending at the business. How is your operation? Is it really truly the owner and you can come and go as you please? But the piece that we haven't talked about, in order to get masters, Drive has an inspector service. We send a shop inspector. Jim Saley comes out to your shop and inspects really how things are going. He watches and he's seeing how the day-to-day operations are going. And this isn't a service just to get masters. This is a service to let you know, as a shop owner, what else can we dial in to get it to that perfect condition. And Jim watches and he sees, and they give you a big report at the end of this. And the difference between masters is, masters, you've had that done and you're starting to work on all those little things that need to be fixed. Master Elite says that you fixed everything with proof that Jim found that could be improved in your shop while he was there at the inspection, which is a lot of things. It can be a lot of things, and it's a lot of little things.
yeah,
I remember with me, it was when I had my shop inspection back in the day, one of the things I had to think about was, the guys came up to me and say, hey, we have a problem with this truck out here. We don't know what to do. Well, in the heat of the moment, I just went out there, took a quick look at it, say, oh yeah, do this, this, and this, and then went back to my office. It was probably a 2-minute ordeal. But he says, well, why didn't you make them think for themselves and go do that? You shouldn't have been doing that for them.
exactly right.
And I was sitting here going, oh, well, I didn't think about it. But it was just that little thing.
Yeah.
The other thing I got on my inspection, I remember back on this to this day, it's clear. Got a brand new boat. We're making money. Got a brand new boat. Didn't want it parked outside, so I had a back corner of the shop over there that wasn't really used. I parked my boat in there, and first thing Jim says is, why is your boat in the shop taking up bay space? Well, I don't know. We don't use it. So we had to get that fixed. But, there are certain things about it, but all that stuff led to us being operational. And I know that's what a lot of shops want to be, is operational. You can come and go as you please. The business runs on itself. Doesn't mean you're detached from the business, because when we got Master Elite is Sustain, which is after Elite, doesn't mean I was detached. I may not be physically in the building, but I got daily reports from all my managers. I knew my KPIs. I could see it. They sent me a plan of action that they were going to do for the day. Yeah. And they looked at my managers were looking at their KPIs, and they would say, hey, this number's low. We're going to do this to fix it. And do you agree? And if I agreed to the plan, because they were trained up, they did I sent them to a lot of training. They knew exactly what I wanted them to do to fix this. And if I agreed with their plan, most of the time it was just a check mark. I agree, go carry it out. Sometimes I'd have to send an email back to them and say, why don't you do this? But that is being in complete control of your business, not having to be there, but you still are involved on day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And that's what Master Elite, that's what stage 4 is about. It's having a team there that's well enough trained, and your policies and procedures, essentially your playbook in place, and they know it so that they can use it to run your shop for you, and you can do whatever it is that makes you happy. And one of the things I've learned over the years is that operational and being able to come and go as you please has different meanings for different people. And it's a very personal thing. And I think that, one of the things that we were going to talk about today, and I think this is kind of the perfect lead into it, is why you should go for master, why you should go for master elite. And it, in a single sentence, I'll say, so that you can have the kind of life that you want to have. And
Agree with you on that, Chris. And it's funny when you say that, because master and master elite, for any shop out there that's listening right now, it's a goal.
Yeah.
It's a goal, and it means different things for different people. Some people want free time. Some people want more money. Some people just want a business that runs and they have no headaches. It's a different thing. But the whole master and master elite is drive helping you set goals to achieve higher levels with your shop. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and one of the things that always hits me when we do an expo and the masters and master elites come up and they talk and they tell their story is that everybody, without exception, they talk about where they were when they started. They talk about what their life is like at that moment when they achieve the award. And no two of them are exactly alike. Sure, there are some common threads for sure, but it's a very personal thing. What happens to you as a business owner is going to be different, and the changes that you go through and the hurdles that you have to overcome to get there are going to be different than what the other guys were. And the key thing is to keep your eye on the prize. And that prize is to be able to live the life that you want to live while having a business that runs very well, that you don't have to be there 80 hours a week to make it run well, those types of things, and do what you have to do to get to that point.
Well,
And we've got a whole team at Drive here that's very much dedicated to helping you get there.
Exactly, Chris. And there's a new thing now. At this last expo, we released Playbook. We had a Facebook Live on it last week. So if you did missed it, go back and watch what Playbook is. But the thing is Playbook is not only about setting up your operation manual for your business and training all your employees and everything, but it's an ongoing, living, breathing kind of document. And you can get master, you can get master elite, but if you don't keep your eye on it and keep training your staff and expanding your staff, you'll fall back.
Yes,
and
it'll fall
that's what
apart.
we don't want you to do, is let you fall back. So keep working on that. We've introduced new tools, the playbook and everything else is going to help you make masters and master elite faster. And one of the big messages I want to send right here is for the 12 shops that went out and got masters this last year, last expo a month ago, and shops that already received masters and haven't went after master elite right now. Look, there's something very big coming up in this next year. The next expo that we award masters and master elites and everything, when you walk across that stage and get recognized by your peers, which is a great feeling and a great thing, think of it this way. This will be Drive's 30th anniversary. It's going to be a big event. Our next expo is in September in Vegas at the Westgate Hotel. This is a time that you want to work. You got a whole year to get everything together, get your shop to the level it should be to get that master and master elite award, because it's going to be a big deal. And not that it ain't a big deal in any other expo, but it's going to be a bigger deal because it's Drive's 30th year anniversary.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're getting close to the end of our time, so I want to actually talk a little bit to everybody who's watching this. What do you do? How do you get there? Okay. And I'm going to say it as simply as I can. The first step is get with your coach and talk about getting to master by the next expo, and put together a plan and work on that plan. Start now, one step at a time. Do the training, when you complete a workshop, you implement what you learned at the workshop in your shop. And you keep doing that over and over and over again. And you work on those things that need to be addressed in your shop to get it to that operational state. And that's going to be different for each of you. Work with your coach to come up with that customized plan and work the plan. And don't let a single week go by that you're not making progress toward getting to master. That's how it's done. That's the best way to do it.
Yes, there's also another piece on here that I will talk about on that, Chris, and that's step 0. You said step 1 is to put a plan together and get with your coach.
Step 0 is decide to do it.
Yeah, step 0 is the decision, because it
Yeah.
has to be a decision you make. And if you're
Absolutely.
not fully made that decision and committed yourself to it, and I know there's many different reasons why people won't make the decision. What do I do if I don't have to be at the shop? Well, I don't know what else to do other than shop. That's all I've known for 30 years.
Yep.
There's all these different things. We're not taking you away from your shop or taking your shop away from you by being master and master elite. What we're doing is putting you in complete and total control of your business. So make that decision right now that I want to be in complete and total control of my business, and then talk to your coach and see what's the next steps to becoming a master or master elite.
Yep.
So with that right now, the biggest thing I can say is everybody out there, if you're listening, hearing this, make the decision to become a master or master elite. It will change your life. When you make it and get there, I don't know how to explain it. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a relief. It's an accomplishment that only you and you yourself achieved. It's not that, look, Drive, we help you get there, but this is your accomplishment. This is your
Absolutely.
win. This is your moment to sit back and say, I've done this. I've mastered it. I've got this. I got to complete control of my business. And that's what we want for each and every one of you out there. So make the decision. And even if you're just starting with Drive or just starting with your shop, make the decision now. You're going to go for it. You may take you a little while to get there, but there's steps along the way. And we'll help you set that up to be there, because the thing is having that fully operational shop, it will change your life. So with that,
Absolutely.
I'm going to say, everybody have a great weekend. Think about it, sit down, make your plan to be a master. What are you going to do that? And, talk to your coach, talk to Chris and I, call in and talk to us, send us an email. We'll help you get to masters. That's what we're all here for. So everybody have a great weekend. Next week, we'll have Jennifer and Tony of Precision Imports on the show. We're going to talk about some of their successes. And I know they're going for masters next year. So we're going to talk to them about what it takes for them to, what they're going for and why they're going for masters.
All right.
So have a great weekend, everybody.